Hello, everybody. You are listening to Wall Street Blues. I'm your host, Alfred. The topic of today's broadcast is the stock trading app generation. Let's open our Bibles to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 3. I'm reading from the Living Bible translation. I read, any enterprise is built by wise planning, becomes strong through common sense, and profits wonderfully by keeping abreast of the facts. Praise the Lord. You see, you have to keep up to date with the facts about your profession or the business you are into or the industry as a whole, that business is a part of. And of course, there is the cross linking of industries because um, businesses and industries, feed off each other. For example, a school needs computers, and that is tech industry. You can see that's linking between the education, you know, industry and the tech industry. So there is that relationship between industries. You have to keep up to date with all the latest innovations and news about your industry. And I'm talking about news, not gossip. A lot of news today is unhelpful. If someone gives you news that does not help you, you know, it says a lot. Of course, unfortunately, now news is mostly about propaganda and ridiculous propaganda, and it's self-serving. It's all about trying to manipulate the minds of the masses on a mass scale, So that's unfortunately what news is. But you have to personally be somebody who understands the importance of keeping up to date with important facts about the industry that you are in, or things that really matter that can affect you, especially things that can be helpful to you. And the interesting thing is that a lot of these kinds of things are boring. They are not exciting. They are not going to be on mainstream news because mainstream news likes to function on the premise of, you know, if a dog bites a man, it's not news. But if a man bites a dog, it's news. So number one, they want something crazy. They want a headline, and they want something that is unusual. And it's often bad news that they favor because people are more concerned about bad news than good news. That's why a lot of newspapers have obituary sections, but they don't have bet sections. If something good happens to somebody, it is not going to make the front page unless that person is a celebrity and it's selling on their celebrity. And of course, they will put another slant to it because good news on itself doesn't seem to sell. People are not excited. People are not trained to go after good news and to be excited about good news. And you can see that madness extending into a bunch of different things. Like you see all the people who are always trying to give a new day to a new sickness. Oh, it is cancer month. Oh, it is this type of cancer day. Oh, it is this kind of mental illness day. I mean, think about people who call themselves mental health advocates. What are they advocating? Are they trying to make people aware that crazy people exist? How can you say that you're a mental health advocate? What are you talking about? You think that people don't know that crazy people exist and you feel it is your responsibility. Now, some of you hearing this may say, that I'm trying to make people more sensitive to people who are going through mental stress. You want people to be more to feel a certain way. That has nothing to do with awareness. And that in itself is crazy. Because you see, they are crazy. If you want to promote sympathy towards people who are mentally ill, that is one thing. And keep in mind that as a Christian, we don't involve ourselves in that nonsense because we cast out demons. A lot of the people who are so-called mentally disturbed, majority of them, especially the ones that are given all kinds of funny psychological names. The ones that are taken to a psychologist that you cannot, it's not like a lobotomy was performed or an accident happened and some part of their brain was damaged or all of that. A lot of those people are actually demon possessed. It is an operation of a demon. So what they need is to have a demon cast out. And for those ones who mentally ill, that is not a result of demon possession. You see, understand that Jesus said, you know, if any man says to this mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, he shall have whatsoever he says. That was talking about the physical mountain. A physical mountain, a real mountain. In the same way, you can speak to parts of a human body that is deformed and command it to be properly formed. You can speak to yourself and say, I am getting more beautiful, I am getting more handsome. And as you believe in your heart and you do not doubt, it will be happening. Perhaps you have dental problems, your teeth needs to be aligned. You speak to your teeth. Perhaps there's a wound on your body, or there is an injury that doesn't heal properly. You speak to it. If you believe and do not doubt in your heart, and you consistently say that and you confess that, as you believe, you would receive. You will receive what you have believed. And this is the way it is for Christians. If you're not a Christian, this does not apply to you. I'm not talking to you if you're not a Christian. This is for Christians. So you are the one that has the legal right and the authority, and especially when you use the name of Jesus, it is finished, it is settled when you use that name. So you can use that to change things. So when it comes to this craziness of mental health, that is how such things should be addressed. Now, to get back to our topic, the stock trading app generation, I say that we should keep up to date with all the things that are happening. And one of the things that are happening is that everybody now is trading on apps. And this generation of people don't have any understanding on a fundamental basis of economics. And that is why you can see a lot of them are Democrats, a lot of them are burning buildings. You can see Black Lives Matter, who are trying to help dark-skinned people and African Americans by going into their communities and destroying all the businesses there. And they do not see how that is the best way to destroy the African American community. You see how many businesses have been burnt in African American communities in the name of fighting for the rights of African Americans. These people don't have any basic fundamental understanding of economics. These are the people that are fighting for minimum wage. They do not understand that when you push for minimum wage, all that happens is that a lot of people get laid off. And then the costs of the products increases. So the cost of living for everybody increases. Now there are fewer jobs. And then those who have a job, their work time increases because they now have to meet up with the same output, and they also have to meet, the scaling plan of the business to increase their outputs. And of course, a lot of times this leads to people just buying machines to do the work that humans used to do before. Understand that, for example, a simple cartoon, a cartoon like Popeye, for example, the old Popeye cartoons, it took like 300 people to make 5 minutes of a Popeye cartoon. 300 people had jobs. 300 people were able to feed their families from that. But now, a 5-minute animation can be created in 5 minutes using Toonly. And there are folks who are using all kinds of different templates to make things easier for more professional animations. There are, when you come to 3D animation, and folks who use mocap, with mocap and already modeled 3D models of your animation and the 3D modeled environments, all that is remaining is just the voiceover, and you can take basically 10 minutes to create a very high quality animation that will be compete with the best of the best. And this is how technology have changed. Man's knowledge of the world around us has changed and has helped us to create better technology than what we had before. Because keep in mind, technology itself doesn't change, in the sense of the basic principles of what made that product exist, you know. And by that, what I mean is that if you had the knowledge that you had now and you went back in time, you could create a lot of things that were not available then, that would seem to have belonged to this time. What really changed is your knowledge. It is man's knowledge that changed. Once man's knowledge of the world around us keeps getting updated, and understand that it is the knowledge of some, because this is not general. And that is why you can see the people who are always innovators are few among the main, but we are giving all the credit to mankind. But it is not everybody. But the knowledge that is out there, that is available, is much larger, and the people who are taking advantage of it are even much smaller. But the fact that we are learning more and being able to build, we went from being able to create electricity, to improving how electricity is made. Now we have solar electricity, all those different advances. It is the true advances is in man's knowledge, not in the underlying groundwork of the elements and the technology, the gadgets themselves. The gadgets have always been here. Everything that is required to build a supercomputer was already in the earth, and perhaps even in much more abundance in the medieval ages, and even before that, in the days of Adam. In the same way, oil, for example, the crude oil, that people are now saying that the global warming people are now condemning and all of that, it has always been on the earth. But when people dug and they found black oil, they thought that the ground was cursed. And those who believed in all kinds of idols believed that one god or the other had cursed the ground. They did not understand the value of that oil, but that oil has always been there. Now look at how valuable it is. And look at how much was it had delivered to nations that before would cry when they see such things, because what they wanted was water. They did not want some blackish goo. So these are things you have to think about and understand about life. So now, to really talk about this stock trading generation, it has created a situation because a lot of people don't really know a lot about investing, yet they are investing because it's easy. It's an app. So it's just they have heard that it's important to invest, and now they are doing all kinds of crazy things on the app, and it's creating all kinds of craziness on the market. I would like to point out something very important. This is not really going to stop, but there are two key things I want to point out to you. First of all, there is a strong market in building your own stock trading app. You see, I'm making it as easy as possible, as social media friendly as possible. Let it be as easy as using TikTok or Twitter or whatever. So you can build your own. There's still a market for it, and it's important for you to look into that. That is one. Secondly, you can also, with the app, create a provision for proper legacy fund management, so to manage people's fund, because a lot of all these young people who are now investing don't know what they are doing. And as they are investing themselves, they are making all kinds of stupid decisions, and a lot of them are emotional. A true investor understands the economics and really studies the market and understands the market from a very sophisticated point of view, so that they can actually have peace of mind, when they are doing what they do, and they will do it with the most available knowledge possible. Those are two different things. So there's the building of the app, and there's the creation of a legacy fund that will market itself to a young generation, like a branding, like something that people will want to get on, young people want to get on, and where their money will be more secure. A lot of people are investing in crypto, but let's understand something. First of all, crypto is not an investment, because crypto in itself, if you say you're investing in crypto, what is crypto? What does it do? What is its value? What is it used for? Crypto was supposed to be created as a currency, but the reality of the matter is that It is more used. It is used today as more of an investment um, bucket. Like if people think of it as they are looking at it as a way to store their wealth, but that is not what it was meant for, and that is actually what it is not good for. It is not good for storing wealth. It is actually better for you to invest in a company that owns a platform people trade crypto on. And whenever people buy or sell crypto or people mine crypto, that company makes money. That is the kind of company you should invest in. And by investing in that, you are not investing in crypto. You are investing in a platform that is in the business of trading crypto. That is what you are doing. So that is something you have to understand. Crypto is not an investment. And keep in mind that sooner or later there's going to be the same way the pandemic was, with the health. There's going to be an economic crisis where they will say that computers were hacked and all kinds of things, that there was a global scale, this and that, and somebody did something to disrupt all the computers and hacked computers, and it was an attack on the banking system, or blah 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 and blah blah blah. And that is a key, because a lot of people in such a scenario will lose a lot of money. All the people that have crypto, because where are the records? The crypto that you have is based on the records that you own this crypto. So what happens when a virus or something goes forth and alters or destroys all the records of all computers all around the world? And they say that it was hacked, and the creator of one kind, before it was the coronavirus, now there's going to be a new one sort of e-virus. And what it's going to do is that it's going to force people to move to a type of crypto which is based on the government, and it will lead to the building of a one world currency, which is part of the plan of the new world order. So that is something that is going to come. There is going to be a financial crash that is based on e-transactions, totally destroy it, which is all planned. It is not going to be a true crash, because those it is actually built by those who know, and it is orchestrated by the people who are actually the Silicon Valley, the tech giants, and the people who are the real globalists who own so much and control so much. It will be a good plus for the government, especially the US government. And imagine all the debts that America owes. Such things can now be destroyed, because it's like, okay, we know that America owes you money, but how much does it owe you? Where are the records? And all those kinds of things. It's going to be a good thing for the government, because now everybody will now have to be like, I want something safe, I want something secure, because crypto is not secure, and it does not have that power that a nation gives it. So those kinds of things, it's going to help to reset the world, reset the economy of the world, and move all the money into the hands of a particular few. And of course, it goes without saying, you need to start investing in more tangible things, businesses, real estate, land and property. And of course, for those of you who do not know, now in countries like Nigeria, it is profitable to buy a house, but in some so-called countries like America, the so-called first world countries, due to the crazy taxation system, due to the mortgage system, all the payment of mortgage and all of that, it is actually a liability to buy a house, because you also pay property tax. I understand that in Lagos, Nigeria, they are bringing up the idea of paying property tax. So such things now make it illogical to buy your own house that you live in. You can still buy a house and rent it out. That is going to be profitable, and also buying real estate for other kinds of purposes, for all sorts of purposes. But to buy and live in it yourself, it is not any money for you. Of course, the Nigerian way of doing things like that is when you buy a house, you have other segments and you rent it out. That is wise, and that is basically what President Trump did. When before he was president, with Trump Tower, he built a giant monument in New York with different apartments which were rented out or sold out or whatever, leased out, and then he was at the top of the topmost apartment. But in that way, you own an expensive home that is generating money. Because when you just buy a house, there are a lot of people who are buying $50 million homes and $100 million homes and all of that. But how does that home make money for you? It's like buying an airplane or buying a yacht. There are so many people that are buying super yachts and all of that. You have to understand the economics of things, and you have to be wise. It does not matter that you have the money to buy, therefore you buy it. How is this going to bring back money? You can't just keep boring holes in your own pocket and think that because more money is coming to fill up the pockets, let me keep on boring more holes. Be wise. Change a lot of your liabilities into assets. And of course, you have to understand a liability is something you spend money on that doesn't put money back in your pocket. But an asset, is something that you put money in that brings money back to your pocket, So an asset is an investment. A liability is everything else, So that is basically it. That being said, remember to check out Alfred.vip. Now, if you've not given your life to Jesus Christ, I'd like you to go to Alfred.vip, click on the salvation prayer link in the main menu, and when you do that, the page will come out that has a prayer of salvation. Say that prayer and give your life to Christ. Until next time, thank you and God bless you.